If you guys hear me yell smoke in the air, you know this thing is going down. Guys, I just watched Top Gun Maverick for like the 9th time because I had to prep for FMS's all new 64mm F-18 Super Hornet. Now, this is their high fidelity edition, which means it is highly detailed. It's officially licensed by Boeing. And I got to be honest, it's probably one of the best looking 64mm jets I've seen in a long time. It's a single 64mm. It runs on 4S. I'll show you the battery in a second. Assembly, I don't want to bore you with that. Pretty simple. The landing gear just gets screwed on. So the main gear, 2 screws. Front gear has a little grub screw because it is a steerable nose wheel. And, I mean, I don't know if you can see with my big hand in the way. Nice little suspension there. Putting the wings on. Pretty easy. There's 2 wires, one for the aileron, and we have wingtip navigation lights. So 2 wires for that, 4 screws to hold the wing on, vertical, horizontal stabs. They want you to use a medium CA. I use 5-minute epoxy, and then you got to connect those linkages. But all in, pretty easy to set up. Took me about, well, it took me longer because I did something that I'm not supposed to do. So the elevators come on a Y harness. I actually separated those and put them on their own channel because I wanted to set up some tailerons, so I did that. Now I have a SMC 2800, size of a 2400. You could run this on anything from a 22 to a 2800 milliamp pack. I got a 32 and I honestly think it'll fit. There's plenty of room to move it back and forth. The CG marks are on the wing. Now I don't like running my jets tail heavy. I know a lot of you guys do. I'd rather them be a little bit nose heavy. I just think they track straighter, and I don't run gyros. But with all that being said, it looks cool. I've never flown it. I want to get a maiden in, so let's plug the battery in and let's see how she does. We got a little icing on the wings, man. I hope we get lift. All right, check it out. So our ailerons, I set up dual rates. I'm going to take off 100% rate on everything, but typically on my jets, I like running about, I don't know, 70% on the aileron. So I did set that so when I'm in the air, I could feel it out. But also, guys, like I said, I separated. So I have my ailerons. Now, if you notice, this model doesn't have rudders. So for my rudder stick, what I did was on my C channel, I have 40%. And 80% taileron. So I'm going to play with that. But first, I'm going to take off just the way a lot of you guys are going to fly it. And that is not separating that. So I don't know why, after flying jets for so many years, like when I move the rudder stick and nothing happens, it drives me nuts. So again, I know that those are tailerons. They should move with the ailerons, but I just set it to my rudder. Now, if you guys have questions of how I did that, just leave a comment below. And happy to reach out. Happy to tell you guys how I programmed it up. But without further ado, let's get this thing in the air. We're going to trim it out first. And see how it does. Oh, last thing, I also have thrust reverse programmed. This does have a reversing ESC, which is pretty cool. Now, she looks good on the ground. All right, guys. Maverick is taking off. Well, I used the entire runway there. I guess we really do have icing on the wings. Now, I'm also not, wow, so I need a lot of right elevator. Let's trim this bad boy out. And my battery pack is way too far forward. Now, I don't like punching it, especially in this cold weather, because it is like 25 degrees out. And I'm always worried that my battery is going to go into LVC. All right. A little bit better. Still needs a little bit of trim. Now, when I land it, we'll really go over it and see how that trim is. So that's full throttle. 64. It's got a little bit of power. It's not crazy. But as you see there, you see what I was saying with the ailerons? That's way too high. So I'm actually going to go to, right now, I just lowered it. Now my aileron's at, well, that's still too high. Guys, I like this thing tame. I might have to lower those ailerons to about 50%. She looks good, though. Look at that. Nice. Now I'm giving you raw footage here, man. This is my first flight. Sometimes it's a little ugly taming these jets. And I still need more trim, so let me let go of these sticks. You know what it is? The battery needs to be pushed back. So I'm gonna trim for this flight. That way it's a little peaceful, and then we'll move that battery back on the next flight. All right, cool. Yeah, that's way too sensitive for me. That's how I like my 3D planes, not my jets. But man, she looks good in the air. And you know what? Like, those navigation lights really make a difference. Now, I hope this is a testament to what's to come from FMS, right? They have a 64mm Futura, but they also have an 80mm Futura. And I really think this F-18 is one of the nicest looking ones I've seen in a long time. And they really need to make this thing bigger. Take this small jet, let some beginners and stuff fly it, and then beef it up a little bit, right? Bigger, landing gear, flaps, the whole nine. Definitely feeling it out on a first flight. Now you can take that ordnance off and we probably will get a little more speed there. But I'm leaving it on, man. I like the way it looks. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna land it because this thing needs to be tamed. We gotta bring these rates way down. That way we're a lot more comfortable with it. Nice flare. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not even gonna bring it in, so I'm gonna leave it right where it is. I'm gonna go on my remote real quick. We're gonna go to, let's see, we're going servo rates and expo. So I have 75% aileron. I'm gonna lower that to, let's go 50, and we're gonna raise this to 35, and that should give us the feel that I'm looking for. So we're going back up. Got 2 minutes left. There you go, guys. Now I'm a lot more comfortable. 50% aileron, 35% expo. That seems like the sweet spot for me. Nice low pass. Yeah, buddy. All right, so we're gonna bring it in full land. We're gonna switch that pack out. We're gonna move the battery to where it needs to go, and we're gonna showcase what this could do. But I'm giving you guys the raw footage, man. I want you to kind of see what I went through at the field, because if you guys get this, you know, you might go through the same thing. Trying to dial it in. All this runway and we missed it. How does that happen? Guys, I'm liking it so far. It definitely needed to be tamed. Now let's see how much elevator I needed to keep that. Let's look at that. So we're gonna recenter that, right? And we're gonna push that battery further to the, which way am I going here? Oh, we need the battery further, yeah, further back. Is that what I said? Yeah, it was nose heavy. You see where I have it? You see all the space here? So I'm gonna move it probably about an inch back, recenter that, and we'll see how it does. Which is weird, because when I'm holding the CG, it seems pretty level. My fingers are right on those CG marks. It actually seems a little bit tail heavy. FMS, you guys might have got that wrong. Let's pull this battery out. Let's get a new one in. Let's get this thing back in the air. We got that elevator recentered. I pushed that battery about an inch backwards to try to get it a little better. Let's see how she does. Still slightly nose heavy. Let's see. Let me let go of the stick. Yeah, wow. That battery needs to go back. I'm just gonna trim for it. All right, guys, let's play with this thing a little bit. Like I said, I programmed some ailerons. I do want to try that. A little shaky on the sticks this morning, am I? Let's see how these ailerons work. I'm gonna do 40% first. And I'm gonna hit my rudder now. Oh, you know what? Kind of like that. It actually does give it a little bit of a yaw feel. Might make it easier to line up on the runway. Let's hit a nice little touch and go now that I got yaw control. Coming in hot. Nice flare on that thing. The 64s, you know, I definitely think if you took that ordnance off, it would have a little bit more punch. But man, it looks so good. Let me know, are you guys more into the performance factor, or would you rather have the looks? Because for me, on this 64, like if I want performance, I'd probably go bigger. Get me an 80 or a 90, but Almost like a high alpha there, huh? Let's try that. I just don't want to stall, so let's bring it around a little high. The 64s are typically more forgiving than those bigger jets. You know, if I push that battery even further back, it's probably be a high alpha monster. I wonder at what, let me stall test this thing. Let's go up high, because I have a bad tendency to not leave myself enough room to recover. So we're up high. Throttle's off. Full elevator. She doesn't stall. Huh. Well, that gives me a lot of comfort in knowing that I could probably high alpha this thing a lot better. Let's bring it down. Let's get that nose up. Guys, it's definitely a fun jet. This is one of those ones that I'm gonna have to do a follow-up review, because I'm really just feeling it out. I'm full elevator right now. I gotta push that battery back. That's the key. I don't like flying tail heavy, but I guess on this one I have no problem doing it. It's pretty quiet for what it is too. Let's go high speed pass, one high speed pass, and we're gonna bring it for a land. So yeah, I see, you know, I showed you guys it flies slow nice. Let's see how she does at high speed. Ordnance on, gear on. Sounds pretty good. The thing about the 64s, they lose out, like they lose velocity so fast. So that was, you know, maybe 100 feet, 120 feet, and it loses how high it's gonna go. I like it. I do, genuinely. I think it's a very cool looking model. I wish we had a little different light or sky background so you could kind of see it a little better. I know the camera's probably not catching this thing very well, but sometimes it's good to get a realistic initial maiden on camera for you guys to see what it looks like for us. You know, get it right out of the box and get it tuned up to go to the field. Not all of us, you know, take the time to fully dial these things in before we do an initial review. So that was a raw maiden. Oh, you know what? I forgot I had that. Now let's see, that was 5 minutes exact. So let's see what our battery's at. Five minutes on a, now guys, look, so here's what I'm saying. There's plenty of room. So honestly, like the battery placement probably should have been right about there. What's crazy is when it's there, it just, my fingers are right on those CG marks. Yeah, so I don't know about the CG marks, but let's see where we're at. So I was in the air for 4 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock. I definitely have my battery tester. Here it is. What do we got? .67. So yeah, you get 5 minutes. 4 minutes and 30 seconds is probably my comfortable spot because I like running my packs to 3.8 volts. But on a 2400 LiPo, 5 minutes. 5 minutes is doable. That's not bad. So, I mean, all in, I think it's a very pretty model. Do I wish it had a retractable landing gear? Sure, all of us do. Do I think it would fly as well? No, I don't. I think that the fixed landing gear gives it that lightweight that you're looking for. I think that if I put the battery a little further back, it's going to high alpha like a monster, which I'm going to do shortly. I have one more battery left. I'm going to do some short form content with it. But stay tuned for a follow-up because I'm going to bring this when it warms up a little bit. I'm going to let some other guys at the field fly it. and we're really going to put it through its paces. So if you're still here, I appreciate you watching the raw maiden, and I look forward to flying this thing some more and getting some more videos out for you guys. If you're interested, as always, link is below, and I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time.